Well, doing well. It's I think we're all going through some challenging times. We had originally planned to talk about some other things, but I think what's on most people's mind is how to adjust their business based on what's happening with the coronavirus. So I decided to make a last minute change on the topic on the live stream and talk about this because I'm sure that you're dealing with it with your three schools, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to hear how you're dealing with it. And I think we'll throughout the whole stream we'll have a lot of Q&A from people, and hopefully we'll be able to answer that because it's a topic on a lot of people's minds. So yeah, hopefully I was hoping that this live stream would be under better circumstances, but it is what it is, and what we're good at martial arts is adapting to the situation and dealing with it, right, sir?
Absolutely. I was super excited to talk about it, and I know we'll pivot in a couple of weeks, hopefully, and we can get back to that. But I think COVID-19 is what is on everybody's mind. For me and my team, we were up at 6 a.m. in the morning and on conference call and speaking with Dr. Johns Hopkins and doing everything we can to provide a positive environment and make decisions really quickly that otherwise we're not experts at.
Right.
And being able to provide that environment for kids is super important.
Right. Absolutely. So we got I was going to say we got about a minute, but it is exactly 1:00 now, and so why don't we first, I guess, do a little bit of an intro for ourselves. Mr. Frank, would you please? I think I know which organization you belong to based on the background there.
Yeah, I had to show off a little bit. That's our 20-foot video screen that we utilize for training and video review for sparring and things like that.
Very cool. So do you mind?
My name is Jonathan.
Go ahead. There's a little bit of delay. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay, sir. My name is Jonathan Frank. I'm an ATA martial arts school owner. I'm really the CEO of the ATA Martial Arts Maryland Group. We own 3 locations here in Maryland, and it's been a fantastic journey. I started just like a lot of other martial artists. I bought a rundown school 11 years ago that had 14 students in it, and at the time, I used my girlfriend's credit card to buy it. And then just this last year, we opened a 17,000 square foot training facility.
Wow.
Purchased the building. Martial arts has been a boon for me and my family, and I love everything I do. So
good for you. Congratulations. And this is your one location, and you have a couple more?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we have one large location that we purchased last year, which is, like I said, 17,000 square feet. We utilize it as an athlete training center, and it has things that maybe most martial arts schools wouldn't have. But it also has a regular 6,000 square foot training floor with a parent gallery and a retail area and what you would normally expect. And then we have 2 other locations. Yes, sir. We have 2 other locations that were the very beginning, and how we learned, about 4,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet. And we don't run a huge programming. I'm an average school owner. I like to say that way. We have schools that range from 160 to 150 students. We're not these mega schools,
right?
But we just believe in a different kind of style of programming that benefits our athletes.
Right. Okay, great. So that's the background of Mr. Frank. For those who don't know me, my name is Master Ali Ghafoor, CEO of 2020 Armor, and we'd like to do these live streams to share stories from other successful club owners. And this week we have Mr. Frank, and Mr. Frank is from the ATA. Now, a lot of our folks on the WTF side or the non-martial arts side might not know what the ATA is all about. Do you mind just giving a quick rundown to tell the group what the ATA is all about?
Yeah, I'd be love to. First of all, I love all martial arts. I watch, we watch UFC to BJJ to WWE. I personally love all of us. I think any martial arts organization can contribute, especially to the lives of their students. The ATA is the single largest martial arts organization in the United States. And really what that means is that we're all under one umbrella. We're all independently owned and operated, just like a WT school. The curriculum is all the same, and we certify our instructors to teach independently of their own martial arts schools. I think that's one of the best things about the ATA is that we learn how to be an instructor separately from our martial arts skills rather. The ATA, the headquarters provides support for us. So they provide some marketing support, they provide educational opportunities. But just like a WT school, I'm sure we're on our own. You know, our success is independent of what the national organization is doing, and we have to work hard to be successful. And the cool thing about the ATA, what I really love, is that we have what I think is the largest amateur single style circuit in the country. And we all compete. A lot of us compete as school owners, but we run independent tournaments. They're only ATA schools, and we're able to support each other in that environment and provide an area for our students to go to tournaments and have a positive experience. And then we tabulate points just like a lot of other organizations, and then we have bigger tournaments during the course of the year that the kids can qualify for.
Great. Thank you for that. You know, I've been introduced to the ATA, and this is all good information for, you know, our topic at hand, because what the ATA is extremely good at is on the structure side, on the business side, on really having curriculum to teach martial artists how to teach, not just be a martial artist, and then also being very inclusive in terms of having more senior folks actually participate both in class and in tournaments. I'm amazed at every ATA tournament I go to how much it's almost 50-50 adults, like I mean adults like 35 plus that are actually competing alongside kids. So it's a very successful model. They do things very well there. And you know, for those that are not part of the ATA, it's a world they've never seen, and so they don't know much about it. They only kind of hear things. But me coming from the WT side, the WTF side, and being exposed to the world, these guys are super cool, super successful, super nice. And you know, if you do have a chance to maybe visit an ATA school near you, I would suggest to do that because they're doing a lot of things right. And speaking about doing a lot of things right, you know, these challenging times with, you know, us being in the sports world, and you know, a lot of sports federations like the NBA, NFL, and anything where there's a large gathering of people, they're suspending services. And so obviously us being in the martial art world, that has some sort of impact on us, whether it's true or at least perceived to be true. And so, you know, one of the things I wanted to ask you, sir, is, you know, what are the things that you've been dealing with? How have you been dealing with it? And you know, obviously, just for the viewers out there, you know, nobody knows exactly all the answers 100%. These are just what you know, people like you and I are doing with the best information that they have. And so I would suggest that you make the best decision based on the information that you get. And here's just one source from Mr. Frank, and he'll kind of justify why he thinks that way. And I encourage you guys to use your own critical thought to make the best decisions for yourself as well. So, sir, just some of the stuff that you're dealing with and how you're addressing them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you have made a good point. I mean, everybody has to make their own decision that's best for themselves, best for their family, best for their company. And then the advice is changing, you know, hour to hour, minute to minute. So some of the things that we are dealing with, we actually just have, so we do a combined testing. So we would have had here over 350 people Thursday night, Friday night for testings, black belts on Saturday. That's kind of been the minute to minute recently. We canceled all our color belt promotions or testings, and we'll do those in classes. And we'll get into that a little bit about what we're doing for classes next week. But we our governor here in the state limited exposure to or canceled all events 250 or more, and they did that at about 4:15 today. So we made the immediate decision, obviously, to cancel our events, and then he also, the school system, within 15 minutes of that announcement, told all schools, all public schools, immediately starting Monday next week. So those are kind of the immediate things that we and changed in 15 minutes. The good news was what we have all those communication tools, and I know most schools were talking about it. So we have that email. Our school runs on their own white label app, so we were able to use My Studio and do push notifications to people's phones immediately. So out of 380 people that were supposed to show up here, I had two parents arrive because the communication was highly effective. Meetings this morning with our team members. We have almost 30 employees, and the senior management team is together right now. They're actually meeting in another room 15 feet away, trying to get ready and communicating with our parents. So what we've done, talking with some of those experts. So we have 6 students testing for their black belt tomorrow. We're inviting them in, 6 students and a limited number of family members. So and then a couple instructors. So we will have less than 25 people in our building tomorrow for their black belt tests. And that's optional. That's optional for those students. We hope that they make a decision. All these years of training, but having only 6 is going to be we'll try to make it as special as we can for them because they've worked hard, and we want to acknowledge that.
Right.
We're encouraging consistency for our students. Schools, I encourage our parents to talk to our kids in a manner that's positive. And then this is what we have to do to keep everybody safe. We haven't had any single parent or student come down with COVID-19. It's relatively scarce in our community right now, but we're trying to be proactive, right?
And you're based out of Florida, sir, right? Florida, U.S.
Spreading out the. Yeah, we're all in Maryland. Yeah, there's been cases. We do have one community case, but it looks like it was traveled. Yes, sir. Yeah, but it looks like it was traveled to Turkey. So, one case here local. Nothing that been, and obviously we're taking proactive measures. So for us, what we're going to do next week, we're going to have regular class. We're going to limit class size to no more than 25 students. We're going to temperature test every student upon entering the building. We're going to encourage parents to stay in their car, and they don't have to come in and watch class. We will be live streaming our location classes online in our closed Facebook group, so parents will still be able to sit in the parking lot, grab some Wi-Fi, and see their kids. And then we're making smart choices, right? Everybody's going to wash their hands. Everybody is going to the high fives anymore, and we still maintain some consistency among our students. They can still feel something that's normal. They can find something that brings some positivity, because I think martial arts, brings out the best of us. And then, we've increased sanitation measures as well, just like I'm sure all of us have. So we're sanitizing in between classes, all the common surface areas, and then we're deep cleaning our schools at night. Actually, all of our schools have, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can move my camera a little bit. But we have a machine over there, which actually cleans our mats every evening. And, we'll be deep cleaning, affecting that for all of us every single evening. And then, like we said, maintain smaller class sizes. That's right. Where we stand, obviously, today. And then for right now. But I do feel being a powerful position in the community, how can we contribute effectively?
Right. And I read, and I have 3 children myself, young. I have a 4-year-old and twins, both 1 year old. And so one of the things that they've been saying is that kids about under anywhere from 10 to 15 don't seem to at least exhibit the symptoms. They might still have the disease or be carriers, but they don't seem to suffer from it anyways. Has that changed anything from your communication strategy? Have you mentioned that? Do you believe it? Sometimes these things
Yeah,
that
we don't have that. Yeah.
yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
what you said, sir. That's the same kind of information that that's the same information that we're hearing as well. That it's a very if kids do contract it, the symptoms have been mild, but they can still spread it to others. And obviously what the concern is that those people that are at risk, that are immunocompromised and are at higher risk, especially with their age. We don't want to take it back to them.
Right. Right. Um, and then in terms of some of your long-term planning for this, I know, as you said, this is happening minute by minute and hour by hour. What do you think? Is this something that you'll be doing for 30 days? Have you had time to even think about what you can do in that time frame, or are these strategies really coming out daily?
Yeah, I mean they're definitely coming out daily, and we definitely are available to pivot should any more information update accordingly. In consultation with those medical professionals and how they relate to China, and China being what is commonly considered the epicenter of where it came out. Um, it's been about 3 months from December 19th, I think, is the first diagnosed case to now. Um, it's been 3 months, and they're finally seeing a diminished infection rate in their community. So we fully expect to be under some of these protocols to at least June 1st. And we don't know, obviously, like we talked about, but we're right now today with the expectation that we will be under some sort of protocol like this till at least June 1st.
Right. So you're planning this, I guess, this limited capacity, or is it limited capacity? Are there things that you see opportunities in doing with the situation that might present itself that maybe that we haven't thought about yet?
Yeah, we've definitely been proactive here at HA Martial Arts Maryland. So our curriculum is entirely online for our students, and we utilize that as a training tool for kind of a supplement for kids that maybe are sick or they're at home and they need a little extra instruction. So they can put all of our curriculum on their TV in their living room and practice. So we're fortunate in that regard. I would encourage owners to do that. So I would encourage them to utilize something where they could put or something called Teachable. There's a company called Teachable.com that you can put your online curriculum up. You could utilize a simple service like Vimeo and create a closed group in Vimeo to utilize for your students. We use Vimeo, and we also obviously it streams through our app. But you guys it needs to be up as soon as possible. And it's something as simple as I have a couple instructors coming in tonight. We're closed because we were to have bell testing. I do have a couple instructors coming in tonight. They're going to videotape all next week's classes. So they're going to videotape the 4 or 5 classes that are collected. So they'll videotape those. So if students want to stay home or they still want to get that instruction, they have that option. For a lot of martial arts schools, if they don't continue their education for their students, students will look to be freezing their payments, and we know a lot of martial arts schools don't have the wherewithal to survive that, and we don't want that for anybody. So we encourage them to get the curriculum online. We encourage, communicate with parents, asking for their help, asking for their support. We're small business owners, just like most of us. We need their support right now more than ever, and they need ours.
Right, right. Are you finding that parents are considering putting their membership on hold, or do they feel like this will be something that's just going to be a couple weeks and everything will be back to normal? Have you seen any sort of those trends in your schools?
So we've definitely had, we do a rolling enrollment. Realistically, we over an instructional cycle, we tend to start a lot of our students the first couple weeks after bell testing for our new students. We were slated to have, I want to say 45 or 50 students start next week, Monday or Tuesday. So far, we've had 15% request to delay their start, and we're in a position where that's okay. If they're comfortable with that, that's okay, and we'll start them at a later date.
Right.
Obviously, we don't know the date on that yet.
Right.
I have only had one student request to stop classes, and I think it's more the parent. One of the parents has cancer, current cancer right now. Is undergoing chemotherapy, and they just don't want to expose themselves to that, which makes sense, right?
That's more case. Yeah.
So we're and on a case by case basis, we're kind of looking at those options, and the parent support is really important for us right now. We'd love to continue paying our team. We have 28 employees here, and being able to provide for them is very important for us as well.
Right. So for those listening in, we're putting some of the great advice that Mr. Frank has been employing for his own business in the comments. If you do have a comment, please leave it. And if we don't see it during the live stream, if we don't get to it, we'll address it after the live stream, or someone else will address it. The great thing about these sort of events that are happening in real time is leveraging the community, trusted community. Obviously, in today's time, it's hard to know what the validity of some of the sources of information, but at least if it's people that we know from our own martial art community, we have some level of confidence there. So I encourage you guys to leave some comments. Sir, is there any other, last little bit of tidbits of information that you could leave with our audience, but before we sign off?
Yes, sir. I would say I think every martial arts, we're in it together. We are all in it together. I know that everybody is on edge. Everybody, it's our job to be the leaders in the community. This is what we've taught for the last 30 years. We've taught leadership, so now's the time. Now's the time to put leadership in action. And for the ones of us that have the privilege of being able to teach martial arts for a living, which I don't really consider a job. I just think it's the best thing ever. It's our opportunity now to step up and help our community in whatever way we can. So we're in it together. If you need help, you guys see my Facebook stuff. You can feel free to anytime. We can tell you what we're doing. We can tell you what some of the other industry leaders are doing. But make the decision that's best for your students and your family. And obviously that changes minute to minute, but we're in it together. And right. Take a deep breath. We're going to get through it. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it again. But I encourage everybody to keep communicating with each other.
Absolutely. Very good advice, sir. Thank you for showing strength and leadership in these times. And I think that's what's needed. And you set a great example for not only other martial art club owners, but also your students. And thank you for your time, making this time. I'm sure, again, you said you got about 28, 30 staff there waiting for you, discussing what to do next. So thank you for making the time for us. And thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have a great weekend, sir. Thank you.
And I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Hopefully we can do it again. And we can talk about our athletic development when that's more of a
exactly. Yeah.
Let's keep the priorities open for our guys and keep them safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a little bit of an audio delay. That's where we're talking over each other for the people listening in. But so our actual talk was supposed to be about how Mr. Frank has leveraged his 2020 armor to keep all 55 of his teenagers, which is pretty crazy if you ever try to keep a teenager in martial arts, because as soon as they hit 13, they're on to other things. But he's managed to do that. So we will share that story soon and see why that worked and how that worked. And I'm excited to share that story in probably in a few weeks. And with that, sir, thank you again. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we'll talk soon.
All right, sir. You as well. Take care. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. All right, well, go stop going live. There we go. Hold on.